Hello. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Weekend's here. This is a fun week. A great first week. It's a fun week for me as a first-time streamer. Had a good time doing it. It's definitely something I'm gonna keep doing moving forward. It's been a learning process for me, and as usual, I appreciate constructive criticism and feedback. If you have any, sound, layout, design, stuff like that. Speaking of which, oh, there it is. Okay. There we go, I fixed it. So yeah, I've had a great time. First week. I'll definitely keep doing this. I'll maintain that 5 days per week schedule, all right here for you if you're curious. So I won't lie, I did go ahead and cut down just a little bit. How do I sound? I sound good, right? Yeah, probably. Probably not. Who knows? A little bit. So I can still speak a little bit more. Okay. So last night after I got off, we started on Hadias because the Javelier just went by so quickly. Well, here's the thing. I just finished Hadias, his entire painting process before I got on stream. So between getting off last night and starting up today, I was able to finish him that quick, which is actually pretty damn fast. It's not because I'm lazy and reused a bunch of sprites. It's just, I think in general, the Vinar Republic is one of the, in terms of art demands, they're one of the easier factions. They're going to be one of the easier factions to do because they have a lot of uniform design, nothing too elaborate or too crazy in terms of creatures or armor designs or special working units with crazy weapons or something like that. Like they're one of the easier factions to do. I mean, they still look awesome, but in terms of technical requirements and the complexities of pulling off that faction from an art standpoint, quite easy. So it makes sense that we've been able to blow through our Vinar Republic tasks this week that we have on the agenda with relative ease. I think the Hoplite is the one that took the longest, and I think he will remain being the unit that took the longest for this faction to do. Now the same, however, cannot be said for what we have planned next week, because I definitely think not only are we going to finish rigging and I wouldn't even say animating. We don't really need to animate our hero unit, Hadias, because he is pretty much just a reskin of the Hoplite. He shares all animations and all that with him. He might have some special, like later on down the road, we might come back around to Hadias and do some special ability animations for him, but that's down the road, and it's not too relevant for the moment. So for right now, we're pretty much just gonna rig him, go and double check the animations, make sure he's good, and then after that, we're done. And I mean, we have a 3-hour stream, so that's gonna go by pretty quick, which means, although the thumbnail for today's stream is we're gonna animate Hadias, that's not quite accurate. I think we're gonna wrap up Hadias, and you guys will get to join me as we start painting the Colossus, which is more or less, he's like this is a really old movie, so if you're like under the age of 40, I mean, I'm under the age of 40, obviously, but like my dad raised me on like really like old school stuff. So okay, anyways, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Jason and the Argonauts, but that's where the inspiration for the Colossus came from, is that big, it's been such a long time since I've seen it, but there's this scene where they have to fight this giant like bronze statue man, and it's all stop motion because it came out of what, like the 60s or something. It's a old Jason and the Argonauts. It's an old like Greek Olympian adventure film, and there's like, it revolutionized special effects back in the day with the skeletons that they have at the end. There's a skeleton fight, there's the giant statue, there's like a hydra I think they fight at some point. So yeah, I don't know, I should rewatch that movie again while I'm working on this faction. Could do some good inspiration. By the way, you like the music that you're hearing? You liking the song? This is actually the Aranor theme, composed by Derek Shire. I think I have his channel linked in the description below, and if not, I'm going to fix that. But just join the Discord server. You can find him there. He's a very talented composer, and he is making the music for our game. And as you can hear, his music is flippin' fantastic. So just thought I'd give him a quick mention. Definitely listen to his stuff. Oh. All right. I don't know if you guys have ever had a Jones soda before. I love the blue ones. They're my absolute favorite. But the cool thing is that on the cap, there's a fortune, you know, like a fortune cookie you get like a Chinese restaurant. I'm gonna hold this up. I doubt you guys are gonna be able to see it. It's probably gonna be way too blurry. Yeah, no, you can't read it. That's okay, I'll read it. It says, "You've got this!" exclamation point. I'm assuming it's talking about this stream, that I got this. So I'll take that as a good omen and enjoy this delicious, highly sugared soda. Sugar. 33 plus 33. Ugh. Tastes good though. A lot of nostalgia drinking this. You guys ever have that where it's like maybe there was a good period of time or a good point in your life early on where you'd eat like something or drink something and you kind of associated it with a memory? So for me, when I was a kid and I first started getting into Fable, which is like one of if not my favorite video games of all time, Fable on the original Xbox, my grandma would give me like $10 and I would walk down to the gas station and get a bunch of candy and soda and stuff, and then I'd come back and just sit there and play Fable all day. And so I would get nacho cheese Doritos and berry lemonade Jones soda, and I would just soda and Doritos for hours and hours while I played Fable. So every time I drink one of these, it kind of gives me that rush of my childhood and playing Fable. So it's a good drink. All right, well, so wrapping up my little intro or whatever, right? What we're gonna do tonight is we're going to rig our hero unit that we painted. And this will be the first time that you guys get to see him because I finished him off screen, off stream, I guess you'd say. And I think I have some cheats. I'm gonna experiment with my speeding up my rigging process by I'm just gonna copy and I'm just gonna duplicate the hoplite skin, right? Because he already shares so many elements, and then I'll just go through all of his sprites and then just rename Phidias's sprites, and maybe that will work and like speed up the process exponentially. It's technical jargon. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but just kind of understand that like that's like a life hack or something that I'm applying here, and it could maybe work, in which case I've discovered something new that's going to speed up my game development process even more when it comes to rigging. Or it's not going to work at all and we have to keep doing it the normal way, in which case I'm getting pretty good at it anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, let's get into it. Right, So, we're good here. Going to... Oh, and that's the thing. That's the one problem. It's not a problem. It's just something to keep into consideration. I do have to essentially do the whole thing twice. And it's just the consequence of having a unit that has a weapon swap. We have to do 2 skins. One for when they're holding the sword, and one for when they're holding the spear. Because when they switch to different types of weapons, it's actually switching to a different skin, because each skin is broken down, at least in my pipeline, right? Each skin is broken down by weapon types, because on average, the weapon type of the unit dictates the large majority of their animations, right? Sword and shield units are going to use sword and shield idols and attack animations and motions, as opposed to archer units are going to use animations that are more tailored towards archers. So they're bunched up like that. But we will go ahead and start by creating our hoplite swordsman. This is the experiment that I was talking about. We're just going to copy and paste him, see if we can just go through and rename. So it's really not going to be a very interesting thing to watch, but I appreciate your company regardless. Feel free to shoot a message if you have any questions. I mean, as per usual, we have some bitchin' ass music right here that you can listen to. I'm going to turn that up a little bit and let you enjoy that while I just kind of start hacking away. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, that looks weird, but don't worry about it. It's just because Hidias isn't wearing a helmet, so I don't need those head, tail, bones anymore. But it's clearly like, Skin's like, what the hell are you doing? Where's my bones? Ah, we'll fix it. Don't worry about it. Okay, well, it's ready. Now let's start experimenting, shall we? Might just be a lot of typing. Maybe. my plan is definitely working. Ahaha. Yes. Maximum efficiency. That's what we're aiming for, always. The more efficient you are, the more you can get done. So, shit, like, that might be it. Want to double... one thing's for sure, I'm gonna increase the size of the shoulder pad. I do that all the time. Never paint him as big as I want him. But I want to make sure that his head is... I want to scooch it down into the left just a little tiny baby smidgen. You can see the bones. Where the bones at? It's going to require me to move this. Okay. So we are, in fact, I kind of want to move that. His chest is a little... We are missing one... Yes, one quick thing. He has a chest harness that we painted for him. X leather chest harness. However, I want to just kind of jump right into animations and see if... Because that was like, I mean, how much time has it been? And so it's been, what, 20 minutes? If that, 30? If that? And we might have a fully rigged character right here with all of the animations. That is... There's plenty of other professionals out there who could stomp and just wipe the floor with me. But for a first-time indie developer who is constantly pushing himself and making mistakes left and right and constantly trying to learn from those mistakes and is staring at a mountain of content that he has to create, that he's laid out for himself, for me to, like, find hacks and improve my process and all that and turn something that might take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours down to 20 minutes, that's big for me. Like, that's a big W for me. So I'm pretty proud of that. So let me fix the shoulder real quick because it's going to drive me nuts. And we will go do a double check on his animations. If it is good to go, then we'll put the harness on him. And then he's done. Like, we don't have to do any new animations for him today. that's better. Just want to just do a quick scan, right, with my eyes and him and all the other characters. See how I feel about him. What I definitely think Hadias stands out from the hoplite, which was one of my major concerns. I mean, the harness is going to help as well once we get that in here, but yeah, it's like a clean version, but through the lack of helmet and shoulder pad change does go a long way in changing the design enough. Oh, and the cape, obviously, that's a big one. It'll especially be the difference between the two will especially be noticeable in animation. Dude, Flynn is like an attractive, man compared to, as he's an old war veteran. I think I'm liking him in comparison to, well, just proportions and all that. That's mainly what I'm eyeballing. Sure, the scales, right? He fits in artistically, size-wise, with everyone else present in the game. So let's do that thing and double check and see how his animations are. Perfect. I would say the draw order on the cape is incorrect, though. That's just in general for the entire character's rig. If I can get away with that, might cause some problems. It's a technical dilemma I haven't had to confront up until now, because up until now we haven't had a shield character have a cape. It's the first one, and it pointed out a flaw in my rig, which was the shield was being placed in front of the cape in the draw order. bueno for the holes here. Right, we're not on to spear animations yet. Well, okay, so we need to add. Clearly we need to add cloak support to this animation. That's going to be one quick edit that we will need to make for this to work. However, for attacks, sword attacks, good. Very good. I mean, come on, this is pretty much our Leonidas, right? So, the kick better look good. Gotta go all slow motion with it. Whoa! Okay. This is Sparta! Bam! Nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. That looks good. Combat stance in general. Looks good. I think my theories were all correct. I'm usually not used to being this right. Really more problems. I mean, the character's more or less flawless, though. Something this is a little head rocking on animation I did for one of the TikTok videos that I made. I just kept it in the files. Maybe I'll do more dances in the future and can have like a in-game like emotes or something you can do. So, you know, once you destroy your enemy's base and you want to mock them and be a toxic player, you'll be able to dance on their grave. Of course. Definitely, you will not be able to. In fact, I don't even think the hero units will support death animations, because I want it to be more akin to like a Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the original. It's like you can't really kill a hero. It's more like, oh no, they've been wounded, and so they kind of like de-engage from combat and kind of become invulnerable and kind of limp their way back to base, and now they're on a cooldown or a respawn period. So like canon wise, you can't just kill a hero. They do their thing, and if they take fatal damage, then they're taken out of the match, and so you can like re-summon them or whatever. So no, you will not be able to cut Hidias's head off. Oh. But yeah, double check the. I mean, I more or less have the information I need, which is he looks great, he works great, and he's operating just fine. It's pretty damn exciting because we put in like minimal effort here and got maximum rewards. That's good to know. There's that ordering glitch, though. Could maybe, for the sake of this one animation, put it... Oops. If I did... Yeah, no, you see, then it... Good right there, but... Bet you if we... Poke is, more glaring. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I'm fine with it for now. That's a minor, like, potentially needs some polish kind of thing. I'm not worried about it right now. It's good enough. Yeah, no, he's definitely good though. So, confirmed. Let's throw that harness on him and mesh it. And then this mother trucker is good. In fact, I would say we could probably just it's not gonna work 1-for-1, but oh well, okay. It's not done because we still need to second time, but we have to do the spear version. But we know it's gonna be quick. Harness. Doesn't work 1-for-1 because if you remember when we painted the harness last night, we did like have to extend the side of it and all that because it doesn't quite connect to the body for the same way that it on Hadias as it did the Javelier. So we are gonna have to make some quick edits to the mesh. But all in all, this is still way quicker in general than if we were to have started from scratch. So still a huge W. Productivity and all that. Productivity or productivity? Ask, huh? wonder if we'll have to redo. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to pretty much redo the weights on this game, but we did save a couple of minutes by copying the mesh over from the Cavalier. Game development, those minutes can really add up too. Hero units, I'm usually more, I'm okay with putting a lot more triangles on the meshes, because I know that there's no odds of this unit being like this mass-produced unit. So in terms of game performance, they're very individual. So you can kind of push, from an artistic standpoint, you can push your technical or artistic ambitions further with a hero unit than I would generally like to with a common soldier, because with a common soldier, you know, you have to really think about how many triangles you're about to put on, let's say, their cloak or their foot or something, because there could be 100 of that unit. So it's a multiplicative process. But with a hero unit, it's like, sure, go ahead, have a really complex mesh on the cape, because you know it's just going to be that one cape ever. The game's only going to have to render that one cape. I suppose there could be some fun, like, cheat code version, and you could spawn in 50 Hidiases or something, but, you know, that's such a... At that point, if your game performance is bad, well, you're not really playing the game the way it was intended, so who cares? It's like, yeah, if you spawn in 50 dragons or whatever in Whiterun, you're going to have some game performance, probably some issues. Of course, you have some sort of god tier PC. Is real. Okay. That's good, but positioning is not right. Where is the scale? I'd say that's good. Yeah, and that really does, like I said, I think that really does. That helps. Yeah, those units are very distinguishable. Let's see if they can be distinguishable at this distance, though, because this is always the important part. It's not about how unique a character looks right here. It's about how unique they look out here, because this is going to be the size that the players are seeing that unit most of the time, you know, being an RTS and all that. So yeah, I think their silhouette reads differently because of the no head frill on Hidias, you know, and the lack of helmet, and also the cape, and also the kind of muddy grittiness of hoplite versus the more clean and regal looking. Also, the shoulder pad helps with it. More clean, regal looking version, Hidias. So yeah, I would say we are good. They read quite differently, in my opinion. So yeah. Oh, we need to mesh this this harness real quick. Then we have to switch over to the spear version of Hadias, because he can, just like the hoplite before him, he can switch between spear and sword. Getting harness. That's... Oh, it's already kind of... Animation test. Like it's sticking on there to me. We need something that rotates the chest a little bit so we can really put the animation to the test, though. Good crowd control would be our best bet. Oh, yeah, the harness is sticking on there just fine. See it bending with the body. That. Awesome. Awesome. Alright, the character turned out great. Okay. Alright, phase 2 is spear setup. Which, so all I have to do with that is I'm actually just going to copy this skin and turn it into a... Copy this skin and then just swap out all the hand sprites. So that is also going to be lickety-split, super quick. So we will, in fact, be starting the painting process of the Colossus tonight. However, before we do any of this, I need to use the restroom real quick, so if you guys can give me like 5 minutes, that would be fantastic. I'll see you guys in a few. All right, thank you for waiting. Appreciate it. Let's get right back into it. We are doing the spear variation of this character now. Sword. Let's do the spear. Should be pretty quick. Theory. You always got to preface everything with "in theory" because it's game development. Anything can go wrong. Yes. Okay, now for real this time. Did the sword skin. It's already done. This one was pretty easy. All we had to do was slot it in the hand. We already did all the work for ourselves on the other one. So outside of that little, what was it, the jumping jab, we need to add cloak support for that real quick. Shouldn't be more than like 5-10 minutes. But just to double check and make sure that we did our job right. Breaking of the spear. Tell you what, it's already looking right. Oh, that's why. Yep. Give him like a little bit of a, give him the old facial grit. Newer-ish thing that I've been implementing. Characters, but I think it really goes a long way in helping them a little bit more lifelike and dynamic. So this skin, we need to the cloak, but everything else is solid on this character. He's done. He's good. So let's just fine tune this a little bit and move on to the Colossus. The cool thing about, well, the thing about this is it's a clever little cheat code. All cloth, right? Relatively following the same physics, following the same wind patterns or whatnot. So I can essentially just use his waistcloth and or his tastic cloth as a reference point to where the cloak should be. So it's going to be super easy. Looks like I would already was supporting the cloak. I just didn't finish it. Maybe. Oh no, I know what it is. It's because this came from the run animation. That's why. You know what? I'm actually just gonna delete all of these keyframes and start from scratch. Easy. Looks good. Alright. This character is Dunzo. 100%o Dunzo. Alright. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm going to move my my desk setup around. Get the art tablet up here. So we are switching from spine mode to Photoshop mode. So, second, I'll let you keep looking at him while I'm setting this up. Okay, we are ready-ish. So, I just realized I've been talking to you guys. This is why I need viewers, live viewers, so they can tell me when I do something stupid like that. That is hilarious. So I've been talking for 5 minutes, 6 minutes on mute. That's defeat. Guys, I'm going to paint the Colossus. We're going to put him on the standard humanoid rig. We need to paint him at twice the resolution that we would normally paint a humanoid, because the character is going to be blown up. So even though we're putting him on the same size rig that we're putting all the other characters on, it needs to be painted at a higher resolution, and we can just shrink the sprites down in Spine, because at the end of the day, when we put that character in Unity, we're going to increase his scale times 3, 4, or 5, you know, whatever we decide. So, but it's going to be a fairly easy character to paint because he doesn't have much going on in terms of design. It's just bronze anatomy. So, I could pretty much just take what we have right here for the standard humanoid anatomy, put some color gradients over it, and then maybe come in and start adding like some etchings and scratch marks and little details or something, I guess. And a few little armor bits that he has on there, so. Yeah. Anyways. That drives me crazy that I did that. That's embarrassing. Ah, it's gonna be on the playback forever for everyone to see. That's great. That's right. Okay. Art gloves on. Let's do it. He should be really easy. I mean, I doubt I'll finish him in an hour and a half. No character's that easy. But, I'll get pretty close, I think. Starting with that canvas increase, that's obviously our first order of business. Second thought, I have a secret weapon here. Obviously, if I just increase this canvas size, it's gonna blur the texture of the anatomy. We might want to reuse the anatomy in this case for the character's design. I have a secret thing lying in the deep files of the game. A much cleaner, higher resolution version of that same anatomy. God. This is the resolution that the characters are originally painted on. This crazy large... Well, yes, these textures are like super clean and nice. I mean, like, look at this hand. God damn. I had no clue what I was doing. This is a horrible idea. It's just way too high of a resolution for our game. Now look at the difference in the hands. That. See? Crazy. But we're gonna benefit from this right now. We're gonna take this guy. We're still gonna end up shrinking him down a little bit, but that just saved us a lot of time. So we won't have to repaint the anatomy sprites now. We can just use these ones. Still look good. That sucks. Doesn't have an organization structure like all of my other things do. We're taking something from like the early days of the project and kind of adapting it for a modern character. But overall, we're still saving time by using this, so we're gonna stick with it. Don't even have to do weapons for this character. He just stomp and punch and all that. Yeah, this should be very interesting. Don't need any of that. I'll keep that in there just in case. Okay, I'm gonna do some really boring stuff here for a minute. Because that is the case. I'm just gonna myself, turn off the music, let you listen to that while I have to go through and like put everything in folders, delete some of the sprites that we're not gonna need here, and just kind of in general prep the character for the painting stages. It's gonna be a lot of me typing and moving shit around, so yeah, enjoy the music.
Apologize, guys. I'm going as fast as I can. I have to essentially go into
each and every sprite here. This is a really old version of the character that I'm working off of. I'm doing it because it's a high resolution. We're benefiting from that for this character in particular. But I've made a lot of improvements as the years have gone on in my file structure for the characters. Like, so nowadays when I start a character, everything is all prepped out for me. Everything's organized in a bunch of folders with a bunch of layers for me to like get started with, set to their proper, blending modes and opacities and all that, so I can just jump right into it, because there is a lot of rinse and repeat with the character's painting process. But we're not benefiting from that here with this character because it's archaic and old. So I've had to go through and recreate those folders for each and every piece of the sprite. I'm about 60% done. Have about 9 more to go through, so just give me just a few more minutes of focus and we can get to the fun part. Right, he's ready, more or less. So let me think about this for a second. I think perhaps the best method here one thing's we should as I've stated before in a past stream, should get the Vinar Republic color palette into this file so we have it on hand, because although we might break a couple of the pre-established colors this time around, because this is such a unique unit, it's always good to have these nearby, because I might end up color dabbing from them. For example, the bronze, he has a couple of bronze armor pieces on him, so we should make them specifically the Vinar bronze. Why wouldn't we? Okay, so my plan is we're gonna gradient map this mofo. So it's gonna be another boring phase, no painting yet. We're gonna gradient map him and have that colorize his entire skin surface to the bronze color that we want, and then I will go into each and every piece and do cleanup and kind of like try to slowly, with the way that I paint the pieces and the texture, try to slowly give it more of a bronze look and automaton feel. You know, add some like more creases where the metal's like, you know, connecting and all that. So let's create one gradient map and see how. Bronze, huh? No, I'm gonna hide the hair because it's just gonna be distracting and really don't need that. Getting close. I can feel it. How about that? I feel like that has a good bronze coloring to it. Now obviously he's not perfect, but that's okay. I think this is a good base for me to like color dab off of, and I will now go through piece by piece and add a couple of little armor pieces on there, the anklets, the wrist bracers, the belt, I'm gonna stay pretty accurate to the original design on this one. And if you haven't been here, the original design is this. This is what we're aiming for. Yeah, I'm gonna pretty much follow this beat for beat, because I like it. So all I have to do is come into his different pieces and kind of give it a little bit more of a bronze feel. We have the coloring, but I think there's changes that can be made with the textures, obviously, and especially like the head is the big thing here that needs to change. But I think some of the textures are a little messy and could be. Ah, my ankle. Ankle. It's funny. So this is going to be a boring part real quick because I have to duplicate this gradient map and go into each and every piece of the character and merge it into the sprite. So that's going to take me a minute. I'm gonna beat myself with this part because I'm not gonna be talking too much for this boring activity that I'm doing.
God, I spent like a half an hour, 40 minutes just doing boring crap. Ugh, but he is finally ready. So we're gonna take this, repaint it a little bit, get a new desired outcome. Start with the chest. Fine. I like to kind of isolate the sprite a little bit before I start painting, so that way I don't, so I have a strong understanding of what the silhouette is of the actual thing that I'm painting. Okay. Finally put my art glove back on. I want to simplify this a little bit, and maybe add some minor like etchings or something. Maybe swirl or something. Just some grit. Just fancy lock it first. The silhouette a little bit though. I want him to kind of be a little bit buffer. The chest sprite be a little bit more even. Increase the size of his lats. They're called, right? Lats. Increase the size of his shoulder things.
canvas just breaks. Sarcasm, I don't love it when the canvas breaks. Annoys me. Interrupts my flow. Throws off the Emperor's groove. Try adding some grits. And highlight it just a little bit more. That easy, huh? No. That was the darndest thing. Given this enough individuality, it doesn't just look like a total recoloring of standard humanoid anatomy.
Go 30 on the overlay.
That's a nice finished piece. I think we make the whole thing look like that sprite right there. And we got a good looking character. I think I'm gonna need to go pee real quick is what I need. But thinking about shoulders when I come back. Just give me just a second. Thank you for your patience. Right back to it.
We got 40 minutes left, so let's see how much of this Colossus we can get done, eh? I kind of hate this head, so I'm gonna break my rule, and which is we usually save the head for last. Nah, I'm going for the head right now. Well, neck first, then the head. But I want to focus the entire torso of the character. Don't ask me why. It's just what we're doing. We're going to turn off all of the overlays, though, during our painting process, so that we can keep color dabbing from the other sprites. Because if you color dab with the overlay on, then it's going to correct color. Want to maintain consistency. Not sure that. I mean, we'll still sharpen the sprites, but I'm not sure that it's going to give us the same effect that you'd kind of normally get on our lower resolution ones, because this one's at such a high resolution that it's harder to notice the sharpen. But it's a subtle improvement, I think. Alright, I'm gonna block out like his hair first. Maybe we that to oh god. Yep. Use that to figure out what the silhouette of the head is. Be no use in like painting the chin and certain aspects of the face if we're just gonna cover it all up with the hair anyways. Like a Greek god yet? Probably not, but you know, getting there. Time to give him that like big, curly, like stone etched, like Greek beard, you know, like the statues. I'm really winging it here. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Not really sure what I'm doing. I'm just kind of digging into my brain reservoirs of inspiration. For some reason, probably because, you know, I'm a 90s kid, or I guess you could say early 2000s kid. I mean, I was born in the 90s, but the thing that's really coming to mind is the Disney animated Hercules movie. Now he's looking like a real Zeus, you know, type. There we go. I mean, honestly, I'm winging it. Trying to get the shapes down with the darks, and then we can kind of come in and start detailing it. There is a dog hiding underneath my desk, desperately wanting attention, grabbing him up. Yeah, I'm talking about you. The pug, so he does the little pug head tilt thing, you know? All the time. Muddy this thing up, make it real dark. You know, my painting process is just attack it with shadow, attack it with darkness, and then come back in the end and highlight it and give it light. Hi there. Okay, here. Come on. Oh. This is Bilbo Puggins. If you haven't met him yet, here he is. He desperately wants to sit in my lap. You know, when I'm animating, it's kind of okay because, you know, it's mouse and keyboard and I don't... But with the whole painting process, it's really not suited for pug lap cuddles time. Okay, and he's on my lap, and he's asleep. Okay. Oh, I tried. Alright, we can keep this going. I'm not at a good position. I don't think he's going to interrupt me too much. If he starts wiggling around, though, and asking for more pets, off me like a football. I don't mean that, of course. I'm not mean. Better sit still if you want to stay here. I'm not gonna pay you. I'm just doing my art thing. Get over it. It's certainly unlike anything I've painted so far in this game. I guess this is a little bit more difficult than I originally anticipated for this unit, because I think it really does, because we up-resed the texture size, there's like a larger precedent for for like detail, whatnot. You know, we were dealing with half the pixels before. Now we were dealing with double the pixels. Double the pixels comes double the detail. It's important that we detail the character to the best of our ability, because unlike all the other characters, which are going to be like yay big, this character is going to be yay big. So if there's glaring like ugly texture flaws with this character, they'll be a lot more noticeable than the average foot soldier. Hi. Guess what? Guess what? I'm throwing you off my lap. Yep. Bye. Love you. I actually want to throw you, nitwit. Gosh. You don't even. Don't even. Walk away. Test me, punk. It's a dope ass looking Greek beard. Wish you had this guy's hair. Every day about how I'm only a couple of months away getting to do the Tyrannosaur unit, which, for those of you who don't know, Tyrannosaur is the big T-Rex unit for the Chitauri faction, the Lizard Men. They have a T-Rex rider. I will be doing that here in a couple of months. Probably April, I guess. And boy, oh boy, am I excited for that. You don't even know. I will guarantee you this. During that live stream, we are listening to nothing but Jurassic Park the entire time. Although I don't think that's going to be a one-day kind of thing. That's going to be a multiple stream day sort of thing, because not only do I have to paint a beast unit, which has unique anatomy, it has to be painted at a higher resolution, because it's a large unit, just like the Colossus here. The details need to hold up at a distance. But it also has a rider that has to be on it as well. The rigging process and the animation process. I mean, God, like, I'm gonna have to like watch Jurassic Park as homework. I'm gonna need to like study how the creature moves. I mean, whenever I need an animation reference for a humanoid, I'll just go in my garage and record myself doing something and analyze my movements and see how I moved and why I moved that way. But I don't have a T-Rex in my garage. There's animation reference for that is a lot more difficult. So, always best to use reference. You'll find that reference gives you a lot more about how to properly animate something or draw something for that matter, than if you were to just try and do it, off the top of your head. Have about 15 minutes left for tonight's stream. That's about the time I usually say. Thank you guys for stopping in, checking it out, whether you're watching it live or playback. Appreciate the company. I appreciate the interest in my game project, my future in game development. I really do. It means a lot to me. I wouldn't be, like, if I had 3 wishes from a genie, right? I guess it'd probably be that I could do my indie game development for a living in a comfortable space. That would be my wish. Then my second wish would be that Velvet Puggins could live forever. And third wish would probably be Amelia Clark could be my wife. There we go. That's my 3 wishes. But the first and most important one is that I could do this for a living. If I could only pick between one of those wishes out of all 3 of those, as much as my dog here, it would be I could do this for a living. That is absolutely. This is my number 1 priority in life. Love it. My purpose. It is my function. And I will not stop till not only have I finished this game, but I have opened up a small studio here in Washington and make games for a living, going to the office, my coworkers, and Conquest of Eldinar and whatever other games got down the pipeline, and live a life of creativity, freedom, inspiration. That sounds like a life worth. Pretty much gonna have time to like finish this guy's hair. Like, good God, like that his hair alone is like the that's the big. I bet you this is the most complicated sprite on the whole character. It's just immaculate beard. The original design sketch, he actually doesn't have this beard, but when I got it started up, I was like, you know what, on second thought though, he needs to have a beard like this.
a hair in general that looks like this, because he deserves it. Yeah, once I finish his hair, we'll call it a day. Full hair, beard combo. So I think I'm probably gonna spend a decent amount of. I do have my day off tomorrow. No day job. So I'm probably just gonna spend tomorrow hanging out with me and working on this character. I would imagine I'd get pretty close, if not completely finish him tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, then certainly Sunday. I would imagine probably what's going to happen for Monday's stream is we're going to rig and animate this character. And as I don't think that process will take too long either, that probably means that on stream we're going to have finished, because as far as the current schedule goes, I only had these 4 units planned for the Vinar Republic. So we have now, by Monday, we will have finished those units, meaning that we are ready to move on to the next part of schedule, which is the Zenaris, which is our Egyptian. It's a combination of like Egyptian humans and these Egyptian like Anubis, like jackal dog. And I mean they're like the Anubis race, right? They look just like that. So they came down from space and kind of weaseled their way into this Egyptian culture and kind of poised themselves to be the leaders, their new leaders. The Egyptian race of man or whatever that were the residents of the deserts of Drokun, the Drokari. That's the race. Egyptian equivalent on Eldinar. The vast majority of their people, they were scattered, not in a good place in their once great empire, and so the Zenaris kind of come down, with their star magic and their lasers and portals and all this other shit, and they're like, hey, we're gods, you guys should like worship us and help build us an empire, and in return we will give you riches and gold and power and help you restore your people to their once great former status. Of course, it's all a lie. The Zenaris are not a really good that's okay. On the wrong layer. That's okay. Yeah, no, that's a lie. The Zenaris are not. They're being led by a corrupt ruler, Gonasha, who's a power-hungry, egotistical, vain, coward of a man jackal. He, a master manipulator. He's really great at like the presentation aspect of being a ruler. He's You could say that like he's really good at marketing himself. Not actually a good person by any means. He has some crippling flaws, but he's quite the showman and can use technology and his charisma and his equation to coerce not only a following of his own race. They fled from their homeworld after a failed political assassination attempts. They had to flee, and so they used their star magic to create a portal to Eldinar, and met up with the Drakari, and the rest is history. Yeah, that's your little Zenaris 101 crash course of horror. But we're gonna get to start painting them next week. We're gonna start creating those characters next week. Start with the soldier, which is like a standard Egyptian human soldier who has a spear and one of those long Egyptian shields. Then after him, we're gonna do the Patati, which is a Egyptian archer. Then after that, the laborer, which is we're gonna do their harvester, because we will have a segment in the gameplay trailer where we're jumping around looking at all the different harvesters, the different factions, and kind of looking at the base building aspect of the gameplay. And we are going to highlight the Zenaris in that trailer. So we're harvester, laborer, and then in this sprint that I'm currently on, you guys probably don't know what that is, but essentially we use a Scrum workflow on our development team of where we kind of establish a pipeline. I don't know about pipeline, but we establish like a content schedule and list and bugs list, and we pretty much establish what we're going to do for the next 3 weeks or so. Have a meeting, we establish that list, and then we grind through that list, piece by piece at a time, and then we have another meeting again at the end of that 3-week period where we kind of review what we did and decide what we want to do next. My current sprint, it's Vinar and Zenaris. Those are the 2 that I'm doing. So I'm about to halfway point by finishing this Colossus. I'm only 1 week into my sprint so far. Next sprint for me ends in the middle of February. I think the #1 character that has me most worried for the sprint, in terms of like if I'm going to be able to get them done in time, is we're going to do the Dominator for the Naris faction, who is not a human. He is one of the Anubis-like jackal men, and that's going to be my first time creating one of those characters. So I am super excited, but the thing about that character is that he is an anthropomorphic character, because he has the kind of backward legs because of his jackalness or whatever. So you can think of like the Worgen in World of Warcraft or the Tauren or something. He has those backward kind of legs, and so I have to ask myself, is there a way that we can incorporate an alternative set of legs on the standard humanoid skeleton, where we can just keep the rest of the character the same, but just alter the legs, and so that way we can put the Zenaris character on the standard humanoid skeleton, or we create an entirely brand new skeleton for that character. The problem is that means that's so many more animations that have to be done. If you start from scratch, just because of the anthropomorphic legs. If you can utilize the standard humanoid skeleton that we have, which has months and months and months worth of work put into it already, and so much support for different little limbs and motions and
all sorts of different things. You know, you'll if you can get the backward legs to work on that, it's gonna save so much development time. But if for some reason I can't, I think I can. But if for some reason I can't, we have to start from scratch, and that's really gonna put me in a tight spot in terms of like development time and how much time I have to try and that character before the sprint. Trying to finish just about every character this sprint, about every character before that final third week, so I can dedicate an entire week of development time just to that Dominator character, because that's how worried I am about potential complexities of that character's requirements, I guess would be the word. So yeah, that's the outlook for my development here in the near future. I'm not going to grit this hair up at all with the texture. I want it to be as clean as possible. Sharpen it though, and we are not going to do a lighting pass because we're going to do the lighting pass with the rest of the face when that happens. When I paint the rest of the face, which we're not going to do tonight because I said I would stop after the hair is done. The hair is done though, and it looks quite fantastic. So myself. So that means is are done for the night. All done. Yeah, thank you for listening to my ramblings and attending today's stream. I've been Corey. Yes, that is a T-Rex behind me. I'm gonna probably finish this character this weekend, so I guess you got a preview now, but if you want to see the completed product, you'll either see it on Monday during the stream, or if I finish it long before then you can always just look on the Conquest of Eldinar Discord server, which all the links are in the description below. Because every time I finish a character on the Conquest of Eldinar Discord server in the Sneak Peeks channel, I post an animated GIF of the completed character and a couple of their animations, kind of showcase preview. So there's tons of cool stuff to check out there. That's it for today, I think. Guys, have yourself a good night and a good week. I will see you next week. Bye.